explaining why she stays in the race. Hillary Clinton creates an uproar.
Clinton defended staying in the Democratic race on Friday afternoon, noting several campaigns have gone into June, including in 1968 when Bobby Kennedy was assassinated.
Evoking the memory of the assassination of Robert F. Kennedy.
This controversy over what Hillary Clinton said about bringing up Robert Kennedy's assassination.
But let's go right to it. Hillary Clinton, South Dakota, on Friday at the Argus Leader editorial board, a newspaper there, had this to say.
There has been this urgency to end this, and you know, historically that makes no sense. You know, my husband did not wrap up the nomination in 1992 until he won the California primary somewhere in the middle of June, right? We all remember Bobby Kennedy was assassinated in June in California. I don't understand it.
Why would she make any mention of assassination in the midst of a campaign?
Well, what she was talking about was the timeline. Everyone has told her to get out of the race. She has said, I'm not getting out of the race, nor should I get out of the race. And she was referring to the timeline, how these events have gone into June. It's happened in the past.
What did she mean?
What she clearly said and what she meant was that in previous election cycles, and she referenced first her husband's in 1992 and then 1968, we've had campaigns that have gone on into June and actually beyond. And so her reference to Senator Kennedy was a historical reference.
Does Senator Clinton understand how tasteless, even how ghoulish it is to even use the word assassination, especially when there have been concerns about Senator Obama's safety?
Well, first of all, this was all about Hillary Clinton and the reasons why she was in this race and the timeline.
She could have just said 1968 and Bobby Kennedy. She didn't have to say assassination.
Yeah, and as she said, if anyone took offense to what I had said, then I apologize for it. Sure, I agree.
Does she understand how tasteless and ghoulish it is to use that word?
She was merely talking about the timeline. She understands if it offended people. She apologized for that.
She sort of apologized.
I, regret that if my referencing that moment of trauma for our entire nation, and particularly for the Kennedy family, was in any way offensive. I certainly had no intention of that whatsoever.
Forgive me, that's one of those classic Washington non-apology apologies. I regret if my referencing was offensive.
My wife always says if an apology has the word if in it, it's not a real apology. And I think she's right about that. And I think she would have been better off to say, I was tired, I made a mistake, and it's, it's just too bad for her that she didn't do it that way.
Question, does she think it was offensive, and was she flat out apologizing?
She said, if anyone found offense to it, I apologize. She had said that on Friday when it first came out. But it's interesting, as I say, that
she didn't say I apologize. She said I regret if anyone found it offensive.
Regret, apologize. You and I could sit here and parse words all morning.
In an essay for the New York Daily News, Senator Clinton calls out those who took my comments entirely out of context and interpreted them to mean something completely unthinkable.
She writes this: I was deeply dismayed and disturbed that my comment would be construed in a way that flies in the face of everything I stand for.
That sounds like somebody who's suggesting that maybe she didn't do anything wrong, that it was the fault of others.
She understood that this topic is a very difficult one for our nation, certainly for the Kennedy family.
Does she apologize to the Obamas?
Let's be clear, this had nothing to do with Senator Obama or his campaign.
Has Senator Clinton personally called Obama?
No, and nor should she. Let's be very clear, I will say this again. This has nothing to do with Senator Obama.
There would be no reason for her to apologize to Senator Obama. The remarks were not about him.
Well, can't you see how he might have taken offense to this, though?
I think if there was a misunderstanding, let's get beyond the misunderstanding.
The Clinton campaign clearly thinks that the Obama campaign are part of that group that is deliberately misinterpreting her statements.
A hyped up press over Memorial Day weekend, the Obama campaign inflaming it, tried to take these words out of context.
When you say the Obama campaign inflamed it, their comment was it's unfortunate.
Senator Clinton's statement before the Argus Leader editorial board was unfortunate and has no place in this campaign.
Senator Obama yesterday on the plane said, I'm going to take her at her word.
Senator Clinton says that she did not intend any offense by it, and I would take her at her word on that.
I don't think that Senator Clinton intended anything by it, I think we should put it behind us.
How are they inflaming?
Yeah, that's great, but Friday, They were all part of this process. The press secretary came out and attacked Senator Clinton and got it going so that the story would be around for 3 days. It's nice to get a story going and then, let it go for 3 days over the weekend and say, oh, she didn't mean anything about it.
She said, that's not what she meant, and we take her at her word. And, it's we're beyond that issue now. So certainly we're not trying to stir the issue up. As far as we're concerned, this issue is done. She's apologized. The apology, is accepted. Let's move forward. We're not going to spend days dwelling on this.
The best strategy in a political campaign is when your opponent's shooting themselves in the foot. You just get out of the way and let it keep going and let the news keep going.
Terry McAuliffe was accusing Senator Obama of inflaming the situation. How could he be accused of inflaming the situation?
Well, the Obama campaign did put out a statement almost immediately condemning the remarks. I think that that statement from Senator Obama's campaign was unfortunate. I think it was unfortunate. There's no question that it was unfortunate and unnecessary, and in my opinion, inflammatory for the Obama campaign to attack Senator Clinton on Friday for these remarks, without obviously knowing the full facts or context.
But you will not in any way criticize Terry McAuliffe for what he said this morning.
I think Terry McAuliffe was absolutely right.
Really?
Absolutely.
You think he was absolutely right?
Yes.
All right. So let's talk about something else.
The question with the Clintons especially is we know that they are wordsmiths. We know that they very carefully think about what it is they say. So you have to think, what did they think people would think?
Both candidates now have two goals. They're trying to win the nomination, and they're trying to unify the party at the conclusion of this process.
It poked a sore that it keeps existing throughout this campaign, and it never is going to go away.
Let's make sure that everything we do is geared towards those twin goals of winning and unifying. That's what Senator Clinton is trying to do.
The future of party unity lies in them not continuing to reopen these scabs.
I think it's big in that it makes Hillary supporters basically begin to come to the conclusion it's now time to sort of draw this thing to an end.
She has regretted those remarks, Wolf, and frankly, so do I. This campaign needs, in my view, to be over very soon. I think it will be. Obama clearly has the momentum. I am a proud Hillary delegate, but I predict the race will be over soon.